Hey everybody. So today we're doing things a bit different. Normally we'd love to see you in person, but due to the ongoing situation, we're talking to you from home. So my name's Ieuan and I study French at Cardiff University.
Hi everyone, I'm Lottie and I'm a final year doing English literature and Spanish.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura and I'm doing translation with French and Spanish.
One of the key elements of studying languages at university is that we offer the year abroad. So this normally happens during the third year. You spend 6 months in one country, 6 months in another if you study two languages, or a full year abroad if you just study the one. So for me, like I said, I study French. So I spent all of my year abroad in France. I actually went to the same place in both semesters. So I spent all of my time in Nantes, which is in Bretagne, in Brittany. But I know a few people who've gone to somewhere different in the second semester, like one semester in Nantes, one semester in Paris. There's a lot of opportunities for you to decide what you want to do, decide where you want to go, whether you want to study, whether you want to work, even a bit of both as well. So me, I studied during both semesters. So I was in Université de Nantes, so the University of Nantes.
Yes, so I also did a year abroad. I went through the British Council in Spain. That was a great opportunity because that meant I could teach English in a primary school. And I did that for the whole year because I'm only doing Spanish. So for both semesters I was in Spain and I was teaching English in a primary school, and it was only 12 hours a week. So I had loads of free time. So I decided to use up my free time and I did extra tutoring outside of the school so that I could earn some extra money, as well as filling up free time and being able to practice my Spanish as well, because working with small children, they obviously don't have a great grasp of English. My Spanish had to be used at all times, and it was a great way for me to practice. And I got taken into loads of families. I went for loads of traditional Spanish family dinners. It was just a very great experience. And there's loads of different things you can do, like Ieuan said.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that immersion is one of the best ways of learning and improving a language. So being able to go abroad, being forced to use these languages as much as possible is definitely, oh gosh, coming back in the fourth year, you could definitely see a big improvement, and a big improvement, not so much with just fluidity and, well, being able to speak, but also vocabulary as well. There are things you don't learn in a university setting, whether it's slang or just less formal vocabulary. So it's nice to be able to improve and to get an all-round grasp of a language, I think. So
Yeah,
it was definitely
definitely.
beneficial going on that year abroad. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also like you, and I also believe that going abroad is really the best way to improve your language skills. However, I did things a little bit differently. So as a translation student, Cardiff University offers you two different courses, and they're both the same content, they just have different names. And one of them includes a year abroad and the other one doesn't. I chose to do the one that you don't have to go on a year abroad if you don't want to. And the good thing though is that you get to choose which one you want to do. You can always swap, and this has to be done by the end of the second year, by mid and second year. So you don't necessarily have to decide straight away whether you want to do a year abroad or not. So basically, it gives you a little time to think about it. This is only if you're doing the translation course. A lot of concerns of not doing the year abroad is that maybe you come back and your language skills might not be as great as your friends or your peers. But the good thing is that Cardiff University also does put things in place to help you with that. So, for example, they give you different assessments. So, in my case, people who had gone on the year abroad had to do an oral assessment, so an oral exam, like a presentation, whereas I had the choice to do a translation portfolio, which was basically listening to a video, doing a transcript of that video, and then translating it, and then writing a short commentary about it. So in that way, I didn't have to use my language skills as much immediately as in like the spoken language. So that was a really good opportunity, and I found that really great. I found it really great that they give you that option, that you don't have to. They don't expect you to come into your final year having the exact same level.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And they definitely do pull out all of the stops to make sure that you are the best that you can be, if that makes sense. If you're not quite there in some aspects, maybe oral or written, they do always offer possibilities or opportunities to improve. Like you were saying, you had the idea of that portfolio, or there was the oral test for the others. And it's the same with, we have Erasmus students coming in all the time. So Erasmus students are the incoming foreign exchange students, as opposed to us who are the outgoing foreign exchange students. And they always offer conversational classes with a group or with just one or two of the Erasmus students, regardless of what language you're doing. And it's honestly, it's fantastic.
And the great thing about languages as well is, unlike with my English literature side of things, where 100% of one module is based on one essay, with Spanish or other languages, like you get 5 or 6 different assessments throughout the year. Yeah. You've got translation, you've got speaking, you've got listening, you've got grammar, you've got essays. And although it might seem like a lot, each one is only worth such a small amount that if you screw up on one, you have like a really good opportunity to pick your grade up on the rest. And it just takes a lot of stress out of it.
I also want to bring back on what Charlotte mentioned. So obviously you went on the year abroad, but you did a placement with the British Council. If you also think that you might not want to do you don't have the chance, or you just don't want to go abroad to get some experience, but you still want to get some experience staying in the UK, in your final year, there's a thing called the student teaching module. And in that module, you get to go in a placement as well, and you're teaching in schools around Wales. So mostly it will be South Wales, pretty close to Cardiff. All of the traveling expenses are refunded, and it's a really great experience. It lasts for both of the semesters, and it's really good to get to know, not just improve your teaching practice, but get to know potential careers, I would say, as well, that you might get to look into. For example, I never thought I would be a teacher. I always had my mind fixed on translation. However, even though I still really am inclined towards translation, I think I should say that the teaching model really has changed my perspective on teaching.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. They do offer so many different ways just to make the most out of your time at Cardiff, really, don't they? Whether it's placement, whether it's year abroad. There's also the Languages for All scheme. So that's that's a fantastic one that I'm involved with as well. So the Languages for All program is, regardless of what course you're doing, whether it's a language-based one or whether it's something completely different like psychology or something completely different, you can do a language on the side for free. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, and even if you're just going on holiday to that country for the summer, they do like a 3-day crash course where you could practice the beginners of the language, and you'll have a couple of sentences that you can use on your holiday. Like, I've just signed up to do the beginners Italian one in June, so really looking forward to that. But it's also really great to add to your CV, because employers really, really like if you can speak a language, or at least have the skills that are needed to start learning a language.
There's also things like in the Global Opportunities Centre down on Park Place in Cardiff, they've got summer placements or winter placements, or just placements in general that will allow you to feed that curiosity, if you'd like, would allow you to see if there's something that you like the look of, or even just to get experience for your CV in general.
I think you touched on something really important there, and I think to you as potential candidates to study languages, I think in general, to come at university, you need to be curious. You need to see what's out there, because I know that's a mistake that I made in first year, and I just said, okay, well, I'm not moving anywhere. I'm in my accommodation, I'm in my safe place, I'm not going anywhere now. However, in second year is when I discovered the Languages for All, and then I just thought, well, I've only got a year left, and now I don't have enough time to do everything that I want to do. There's so many things you can do. There's societies, there's Languages for All. Just go out and explore. And if your friends don't want to come with you, just go by yourself, because you will make so many discoveries.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that is not considered enough. Just go out by yourself. Nobody cares. I can guarantee you that nobody cares, and nobody will be staring at you if you go on your own. I started going to Languages for All German classes on my own as well. And I had nobody in there, and I made so many friends that I still have in my phone contacts, and I still keep in touch with. And during these times, I'm still on video call with them. And I think it's amazing, because students often you stay in first year especially, you just want to stay in your safe place, and you don't want to investigate, you don't want to get lost, you're kind of afraid of failing or doing something wrong. But I mean, we learn it from school that making mistakes is how you learn, is how you get better. So I really think that go to university is your opportunity to go out and look for more. Again, like I'm just going to say again that something that you really should aim for, to discover as much as you can. There's a lot you can do in the university. There's so much more than you can ever imagine. We have, I don't even know how many societies. It's a ridiculous amount. We've had new societies. We have suddenly a knitting society as well. If that's your passion, but there's something for everyone. And if you think that you're going to be on your own there, you won't, because in order for a society to exist, there's got to be members. So there's always going to be people coming there, and it's just an amazing experience to go and find out and discover things, get out of your comfort zone, because that's the only way that you're going to grow as a person.
100%.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like, even if you're going on your own, you're going to something that you have an interest in. So already you have familiar interests with the people that are already there, because you're interested in the same type of thing. So you're going to make friends, whether you think you're not, or you are. You will.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And also, you need to think that you're all there in the same boat. You're all far away from home, whether you're from further away or from closer by. You're all far away. Your parents aren't there. You're all looking for this sort of friendship net and this network that you're trying to form. So anyone that you see that seems a bit lost, be like, we can be friends now. And it's not, you don't need to ask them or anything. It's just going to happen like that. You're going to go to something together. You're going to get lost together. And by the time you know it, you're going to be revising for exams together.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like what you said earlier as well about, if your friends don't want to go with you, don't worry, go alone. You'll make new, because that's definitely what happens.
I have to say, I've made better friends from going to things by myself. Yeah, and you mentioned about the global opportunities, which I think is quite important, because the Global Opportunities Office is a couple of meters down the road from the School of Modern Languages, and they give you a lot of support, both in terms of working opportunities, but helps with what you want to do after in your professional career. So in terms of checking through your CV, there's a service for that, and your cover letters and applying for jobs. They're really helpful with that. And just a little bit more down the road, there's the Students' Union, which I think is something really important to mention, because they have a section that's called Student Advice. And if you're ever feeling lost, if you have any kind of issues or any kind of questions, they will always be the people that you can go to, and that you can sort of put any issues that you have towards them, because they can help you from anything from like student finance issues, any trouble that you might be going through personally, as well as any concerns that you have at all. And I think that also brings me on to speak about accommodation and a bit of like student life in Cardiff. So in terms of accommodation, they can help you when you first move in. So Cardiff University, they guarantee you a place as a first year student in their university residences. And however, like, you don't need to think that place is fixed. Most of the time it will, but if you are having any problems, you should know that you can change accommodation, and you can speak to student advice about it, and they can help you figure out whatever issues you're having, as well as in the following years, if you do want to move into a private house with some of your friends, they can help you if you do have any issues signing the contract, anything related to housing system at all. So they provide really great support there.
And we've also got student ambassadors, and we've got personal tutors, we've got just student mentors, and we've got so many different opportunities and so many different people with whom you can address your concerns or just have a chat to, Like, I was involved in the student mentor scheme, and that meant that I've been a mentor for first year students, for a group of first year students, and it's fantastic. They've all made friends. I've made friends with them. We're a close-knit, really nice bunch of people, and it's really nice. It's really, really nice to be able to have someone with whom you can address concerns, or someone you can just talk to, someone you can just talk to about anything, whether it's exam stress or whether it's, I just want to chat. There's so many different possibilities and pathways you can go down, and I think it's really nice. And like I mentioned, personal tutors, every student has a personal tutor. So that is a member of staff that you speak to and that has been assigned to you that you can speak to. And I keep saying address concerns. There's not that many concerns, I promise, but there's so many different things that you can speak to them about, whether it's, oh, I have a bit of issue with my exams, or whether it's, oh, I've got a lot of work going on, or I just have some ideas, or I have some questions about anything, about student life in general. There are so many different people you can talk to.
One of my most distinct memories of this year is I came back from my year abroad thinking that none of the teachers would remember who I was. I've been away from Cardiff University for a year. I came back and the year abroad coordinator for Spanish, she bumped into me in the hallway and was like, "Oh, Lottie, how are you doing? How was your year abroad? Did I see you down in Cardiff Bay the other day?" And I was like, "Yeah, you remember my name? Who?
Oh,
I didn't know you'd remember me." So that was really, really nice. And honestly, especially with modern languages, I've noticed it's like a little family. Like, it doesn't
Absolutely.
matter whether you're first year, second year, final year, everyone knows everyone. And because it's quite a small department, all the teachers are so friendly, and I've really, really enjoyed being part of the modern languages department.
you have that sense of family. You have that sense of, I belong here. I really
Yeah.
do belong here. And I think that's fantastic, I think
Yeah,
that's
modern languages are really welcoming. Absolutely. Really,
Yeah.
really welcoming, definitely.
Okay, so once again, we're sorry that we can't meet you all in person, but it was lovely being able to share our experiences with you, and we hope to see you in Cardiff one day soon. So it's goodbye from us.
See you.
Bye bye. Hasta pronto.